We've been waiting all day for the sun to set on the Cayman Islands Classic because that means we're in the tournament title game. It's Boise State, the favorite out of the Mountain West, against Boston College from the ACC here at John Gray Gym at Georgetown, Grand Cayman. Hi everybody, alongside Jess Settles, the former Iowa standout, Matt Martucci with you. A couple of teams that had to claw their way through at least their second game in order to get here. BC needed overtime last night, Jess. Boise State needed a missed free throw from South Dakota State to avoid OT to get here.
Well, it was a special day yesterday for both teams. Both teams battle-tested. Those games could have gone either way. Boise State used to winning those types of games, winning on the road and closing out tournaments. For Boston College, it just feels like a golden opportunity to lead them to a championship, try to get themselves back in the NCAA tournament.
Broncos ended up taking out the Jackrabbits, needed everything that they could muster, and BC ended up putting together a huge run in overtime to come back and beat Missouri State by 2. How much depth is there with this Broncos squad? So much is the answer if you watched Javen Buchanan yesterday.
Well, the best game of his career. He was all over the place. Posted up, hit huge three-point shots, 4 out of 8 from beyond the arc, a matchup nightmare for opposing power forwards and centers. They've got all kinds of weapons. And what about Elijah Strong? Did he hit some timely three-point shots? Every shot down the stretch mattered, including the big one. He can also put the ball on the floor. Very versatile. What a spectacular performance. He's the reason they were able to get into the championship game. We got a good one, partner. The winner of this game usually goes on to have a magnificent season.
Yeah, we watched it catapult Utah State. Other teams that have participated in this tournament from a year ago. Oakland won a couple of games and ended up making a nice run in March as well. Starting lineup for Leon Rice is Boise State Broncos. Al Cardenas is the one who they run their offense behind. Point guard, the transfer from San Jose State. Andrew Meadow has struggled a little bit, a little uncharacteristic for one of the top scorers in this lineup. And that Dagenhart, obviously, the Mountain West preseason player of the year, and Dylan Anderson, the Arizona transfer. He'll be the one to jump it up against St. Bonaventure transfer Chad Vennick. Joe Lindsay, the umpire, will toss the ball up in the air. Part of the crew, along with referee Doug Shows and the other umpire, Sean Hull. Somebody going home with some Cayman Islands Classic title game hardware. It's BC with the basketball. Right to the cup, there's Strong, trying to take it Strong, no pun intended. And travels right off the bat. 16 seconds in, and BC has a turnover. A lot of depth for Earl Grant's guys. Donald Hand Jr. is their leading scorer and the one that sent the game into overtime last night. Dion Brown, probably their loudest voice, the most vocal guy in the UMBC transfer. He was the one just guarding the ball. Here's Anderson, who can back you down or face you up. Time goes back to left hand on the block and scores.
No need for Venning to leave his feet against Anderson. He's the stronger player. You build the wall, make Anderson go up over the top. If you jump up, you're going to get in foul trouble and give up layups.
Came in shooting almost 64%. That'll up the percentage. Venning misses from point-blank range. Here comes Boise State. Cardenas shouldering in, missed it. Dagenhart missed the follow. And Venning comes down with the rebound. A blowout on opening night for BC over Old Dominion. And then last night needing the OT to take out Missouri State, who we just saw in the third place game against the very good South Dakota State team that Boise State saw yesterday afternoon. Stanley, jump stop into the lane, tried to drop the left in, whistle and a foul on the rebound. Looks like we're staying at this end.
Well, nice move by Stanley with the left hand to get deep into the teeth of the defense, go up. It just rimmed out, but yesterday he was in foul trouble the entire game. He's going to come out and have a monster in this one. Great players never play poorly 2 games in a row. Keep your eye on Stanley, number 1 for Boise State, an experienced second team All-Mountain West last year.
Some movement with Anderson trying to free up Cardenas, whistle and a foul on the Arizona transfer. There's Leon Rice, now owner of 295 wins. Trying to go back to a 4th straight NCAA tournament. And also has 11 20-win seasons under his belt. For the former Mark Few assistant at Gonzaga. Pick and roll for the Eagles. Venning, that's a tough shot for a big fella.
Well, that's a mismatch right there. He's got too much power. Got drilled right in the back. There was no call. And then he spins to the other side. And another great attack by Boise State. They are so good at playing inside out. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to post you up, but they will get into the teeth of that defense with dribble penetration.
Love Cardenas' game. He was the one to get the bucket. BC lost it. Here comes Degenhart. A little more quiet yesterday compared to the opening round for Degenhart at 25 in the win over Hampton. There's Anderson from the baseline. That field goal percentage continues to go up. Only 5 yesterday.
Who can face up, hit mid-range shots, hit 3-point shots. The Arizona transfer has a lot of game, and we said we think he's the X factor for them in this tournament and the entire season. He's going to continue to get better.
Only 5 all of yesterday, 4 here early on. Elijah Strong drops that in. That ball lost out of bounds. Stay down here. There's Earl Grant, the BC head coach. We spoke about it last night, but they're trying to break a tournament drought that goes all the way back to 08-09. Last time they were there when Al Skinner was still the head coach. A win here tonight would go a long way toward jumpstarting the Eagles season, even more so than they already have. Buchanan late in the clock, got on the glass and good. Came into this Cayman Islands Classic with a couple of double-figure games and then had the career day yesterday. 11 of 17, 28 points at 26 minutes. Brown as comfortable as anybody in the BC lineup and gets them back to within 2.
Well, he scores it at all 3 levels. He led the AEC in points per game and rebounds per game last year. And he steps up to this level. He can get it done. He's got a sweet-looking jumper.
Cardenas got the left, and it stuck halfway down. It popped out.
Well, let's see if they can get big number 32 on the low block. That's too open for that guy, though.
Yeah, Strong on a similar wing to where he was last night, just the opposite side of the floor. 8-6 Boise State here early in the Cayman Islands Classic title game. Just getting started.
Known for its crystal clear waters, cool blue skies, and playful residents. Enjoy a variety of water sports including paddleboards, jet skis, and sailing. Swim with the stingrays, relax on a luxury catamaran, whatever your fancy. Dive, sail, play with Red Sail Sports.
Fast, Food. But not fast food. Get a power-packed meal with real fruits, organic veggies, and enhancers at Smoothie King. Blending near you. Only at Smoothie King.
Tonight's edition of How They Got Here brought to you by Leon Rice's Boise State Broncos.
Well, these guys have so many weapons, so many different players that can step up and make plays. They were in a real dogfight with the Jackrabbits, and we thought this game was going to overtime. Then Larson just leaves it a little bit short, rolls off the rim, only fitting that Buchanan comes up with the rebound. He had the game of his life. Leon Rice, he said it all game. He typically wins these types of close games on neutral courts, on the road. His teams have always traveled, and that's one of the reasons he's had such a successful career, and he's even instructing the water guys there to clean up the perspiration on the court. The jack of all trades, Matt.
That's when you know you've been around. You even feel like you're an honorary H2O distribution engineer. 13 ties, 17 lead changes in that game yesterday. That's how good it was between South Dakota State and Boise State. Jaden Hastings, newly in for Boston College, wearing number 22, gets the ball here on the pick and roll. Shot clock winding down, just realizes it, and still got the jump hook off. Cardenas with the rebound for Boise State. Buchanan, look at that glide, everything but the finish at the rim. Decent pace to this game here early on. Whirling is the Clemson transfer, Joshua Beadle. Got it stripped away, and here comes R.J. Keene for Boise State.
Well, against Boise State's defense, if you're just going to bring the ball up the court, try to take people one-on-one, that plays right into their philosophy. Boston College got to move that ball side to side, rotate, play inside out, let the ball touch the post, kick it out. If you're going to try to play hero ball on the fast break against the odds, it's going to be a long night.
Here's Omar Stanley, who had been in some foul trouble. Hasn't particularly gotten off to the start that he wanted to. Only played 13 minutes yesterday, fouled out. Degenhart off the window, draws contact, +1.
What an outstanding play. You inbound the basketball. That's by design, and then you cut to the basket, you follow the ball. Brilliant pump fake and power. He's so good at that. About 480 to 90 points away from being the school's all-time leading scorer, and you can see why.
$11 and 8 yesterday in what was 35 minutes. And then had the big game to open this up at 25 in the first round in that win over Hampton. To go with 5 rebounds there. Said it a bunch, but basically knows what the game needs every night and tries to give it to that particular game. Cardenas' pass gets tipped out of bounds. Nice early cushion for Leon Rice's guys. Just about 6 minutes in with the former Iowa standout Jess Settles, Matt Martucci, and our entire fine Flo College crew. Can't believe it, but this is the 12th game in 3 days. This is where we finish out. The road ends here. Cardenas, good kick out. That's online from Degenhart, but too much.
Yeah, Degenhart fake passed that to the top on the catch, and he's just got to go straight up with that. He threw himself off rhythm, and we've seen that a few times in this tournament. Guys clutching or pump faking before they shoot. You just got to let that thing fly in rhythm.
Beadle right to the cup. Things have gotten a little stagnant for BC. That's a good pick-me-up for the Eagles. Buchanan one-on-one with Strong. Felt him on the shoulder, spun the other way. Couldn't convert. Roger McFarland, the grad student from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, on the turnaround. And 4 straight for the Eagles, who are within 1.
Brilliant one-on-one move right there. That was a pretty tough shot, but Boston College, their big men so good at rolling hard to the hole and taking people with them.
And there's Buchanan, steps out from the corner, drills the triple. (14-10) Boise State. Buchanan off to a good start early on. Give him 5. Ball deflected out of bounds. Will stay at this end. A couple of substitutions.
Buchanan came into this tournament shooting 50% from the three-point line, and then yesterday he goes 4 out of 8 from beyond the arc. And just really remarkable, a guy who comes from the NAIA level, Indiana Wesleyan, comes in and makes this type of impact and just gives Leon Rice another weapon so he could go deep into that offensive playbook.
Yeah, they have all kinds of depth. It's Jaden Hastings. Just a tad upset. BC turned it over. Buchanan and R.J. Keene. Good double that time by Hastings, cut off the baseline. Hand in the passing lane for Beadle. Earl Grant, who played junior college basketball as a youngster. His teams played with that chip on their shoulder. Similar to the one that their head coach carries, if you will, Jess.
Yeah, those junior college guys usually are always out to prove themselves. He told us before the game, look, we've got to guard the three-point shot. Boise State has a lot of weapons, so we've got to extend that defense. And we've got to be great in transition, not only defensively, but making wise decisions on offense, pushing the basketball. Hey, this is an important championship for both teams. 14-10, Boise State on top.
Fast food, but not fast food. Get a power-packed meal with real fruits, organic veggies, and enhancers at Smoothie King. Blending near you, only at Smoothie King.
How did the Boston College Eagles get here to this title game? Tell us, Just Settles.
Well, they just took it from Missouri State. They hung around. They had to make critical shots down the stretch. And it was the extra pass. And then they stepped up and delivered. And great job by Coach Grant, drawing up his best plays. Fool the defense, get good looks for his guys. That's all you can do as a coach, and it was a fantastic and important win for the Eagles.
Elijah Strong, the one to knock that down, finished with 13 in that OT win last night, including 3 threes. No bigger than that one. They got double-figure contributions from Donald Hand Jr., Strong, and Fred Payne, who we haven't seen just yet, but has become one of our favorite players of this tournament. Beadle on the rise up, couldn't get that one to stick. Dagenhart, entry to Buchanan, draws the double, throws it out of bounds.
Well, Coach Rice and his staff told us before the game they want to play Bronco ball, which always means playing inside out. Now, that time they got it in there, But on the kick out, they threw it out of bounds. And ironically, they also said defend the three-point line. Boston College, we just showed the clips. When they feel it, they can rise up over anybody. So both teams going to play extended in this game, try to take away that three-point shot.
Contact, and there's the aforementioned Fred Payne. Into the game, already making an impact.
Yeah, that's what you call the hostage dribble there, Matt. You get the guard on your back, slow him up, and then probe. Great job of clearing out by Hastings. He's so good at that, creating a little lane for our third biblical reference of the tournament. It looked like the Red Sea opening up.
I knew you'd sneak one more in. 83% free throw shooter, Fred Payne. 18 off the bench in 29 minutes last night on 6 of 8 from the field. He gets both. BC down by 2. Eagles still have not led here in the first almost 9 minutes of the opening 20. Julian Bowie and Dagan Hart, R.J. Keene, Javen Buchanan, and Emmanuel Ugbo, who nearly threw that away. One more pass, Keene's open, can't cash, rebound for Beadle and BC. Eagles 5 of their first 12 from the field. They've yet to hit a 3, had 10 of them last night. And that's more of a credit, I think, to the team that's defending them than it is the fact that they've only gotten 3 off. Payne coming across the body. Look at that footwork off the bounce for Buchanan.
You know, that's Bronco basketball. So many weapons, so many interchangeable parts. Guys who are coming in off the bench who can play inside out. Right now, Boise State sending all 5 guys back to stop transition and to stop the three-point line. Boston College has got to make these close ones count.
How about the whirling dervish, Chad Venning? Dropped it right in the cup, 2-point game. 4 for Venning. Bowie slided right by Beadle, gets his first bucket. And timeout on the floor. That's Boise State up by 4. More than halfway gone here in the opening 20. A reminder that your college sports have a home on Flo College. Watch more than 12,000 college sporting events from 100 schools and 12 different conferences. Only on Flo College. Head to FloCollege.com today to see everything now. Hope you've enjoyed the 3 days of the Cayman Islands Classic. Jess Settles and I working quite a bit to head toward the Thanksgiving holiday. We wouldn't have it any other way. Couple of hoop heads. And this has been about as good of a start to this title game as you could ask for. Back and forth between Boise State and BC. Every game yesterday in the second round ended up being 2 possessions or less. And Venning ended up hooking Anderson. Offensive foul.
Well, I don't like the play call coming out of a timeout to put Venning on the perimeter and have him crab dribble down to the baseline 3 or 4 times before he makes a move. They got to get him some cross screens or some rip screens so he can catch it deep on the post and manhandle number 44 for Boise State. He's much stronger. They got to get him inside and seal him up.
Especially if he catches it that deep. That's automatic, right?
Absolutely. Get Venning down on the post. Let him get it deep. Just a careless turnover. Going the other way.
Strong never quite got the handle on that. 6th time BC's given it away. Cardenas going to use Stanley. Some early playing time for Chris Lockett Jr. Wearing number 7 for Boise State, the redshirt freshman. Meadow still was really yet to find his rhythm this tournament. Another miss. And blocking foul on the Eagles. That'll go on Chaz Kelly. Boise State enjoying this early lead, despite just a bucket and a free throw for Tyson Degenhart. But what folks around the country who haven't seen the Broncos are quickly going to learn, there's so much more than the Mountain West preseason player of the year. Meadow long on the three-point attempt. Inside, 8 minutes left. McFarland on the kick out. And that ball knocked out of bounds. Boise State still in front. Broncos by 4. Trying to leave on a really good note.
Backdoor scores! Oh, oh, oh.
Known for its crystal clear waters, cool blue skies, and playful residents. Enjoy a variety of water sports including paddleboards, jet skis, and sailing. Swim with the stingrays, relax on a luxury catamaran, whatever your fancy. Dive, sail, play with Red Sail Sports.
Fast food, but not fast food. Get a power-packed meal with real fruits, organic veggies, and enhancers at Smoothie King. Blending near you. Only at Smoothie King.
Javen Buchanan picking up right where he left off here in the Cayman Islands Classic title game. Career day yesterday. Doing more today, Jess Settles.
Just a spectacular find in the portal to bring in a guy who not only can play, but who just fits into that community and culture so well. Leon Rice, he has high expectations for his guys academically and the community, obviously on a court, but Tim Duryea, the offensive coordinator, loves to be able to add plays for number 22, and Mike Burns continues to make him better defensively. Right now, Andrew Meadow, you mentioned him earlier, Matt, as we see the drums and listen to that great music. Meadow, 2 for 11 in this tournament, only 1 for 7 from beyond the arc. And this is a guy who came in on fire, and they're going to have to find a way to get him some open looks. He's got to get himself going. As you see Venning, that's what we need him to do. Big number 32, get him inside. He's got the physical advantage in this game.
6 now for the Bonaventure transfer, Chad Venning. There's Meadow. Showing up when they need him from the corner. Only the second three-pointer for Boise State. Back to a 5-point lead. Matches their largest. And tough drop-off. Somehow Venning rescued that and almost got it to drop. Stanley the rebound. High-low with Anderson, too much on it, and 4th turnover.
Yeah, he's got the advantage on the post. Just the toughness, the strength. I still want to see him catch it deeper to seal Anderson so that when he catches it, he can just pin him and go straight up. But they got to let him touch it.
And
Tough
using
shot.
Venning, missed the mid-range, yeah. Chance to give them a new largest lead. Cardenas, and way off the mark. Kelly, hard cross. Meadow had to go to the floor to rescue that, but again, self-inflicted wounds, 7th BC turnover. Cardenas, Stanley, and Vennick down with the rebound. Kelly and Brown, Venning and Strong, and Hand Jr. BC just can't get it together. Stanley missed it. Meadow got stripped out of bounds, but Strong is the last one to touch it, already out of bounds.
Well, Coach Grant had Chaz Kelly just walk the ball up the court on that last offensive possession just to calm his guys down. They ran a pretty good set there, and then Venning just throws it away. So 3 costly turnovers. We'll see if Boise State can make them pay for that, but just a little too lackadaisical with the ball right now if you're an Eagles fan.
8 turnovers have resulted in 7 Boise State points. Otherwise pretty even. Only other real difference is 2 made threes for the Broncos. BC's yet to hit a perimeter shot. The step through for Stanley. Meadow couldn't get the follow to drop. And Junior will bring it through. Beadle thought about the 3. Scoreless stretch for both these teams. Over 2.5 minutes for BC after the Brown miss. Boise State hasn't scored in over 2 minutes. They turn it over. Brown filling the lanes. Beadle with the flush.
Well, that's about the first big mistake we've seen Cardenas make this entire tournament, just trying to force something inside, and they pay for it with the dunk, but he comes back and makes up for it with the and one. Yeah, just a terrible decision. Throws it right to him, and keep your eye on the left side of the screen. That's as pretty as it gets. Josh Beadle, just born to fly, and then there's the pump fake. Obvious foul. Comes back. He said, Coach, listen, I know I gave up a 2-point dunk, but
Al Cardenas, whose dad David teaches basketball at the University of Granada over in Spain, is so good at teaching the game. Often talks to Boise State Associate Head Coach Mike Burns, about things that they're doing. Hand continues to do good things for BC. That's actually his first field goal of the night.
That was an interesting conversation, right? Most of the time coaches don't want to talk to the parents of players. They like to keep their distance, especially X's and O's, but his dad knows the game extremely well.
Cardenas and Boise State up by 3. But Josh Beadle and BC hanging in.
Yeah, look, half court been a little bit of a struggle for the Eagles. Why not get out and run? Get some stops, play in transition. It's one of the better plays we've seen this week. Cayman Islands Classic. We've got a great championship game.
was late March of 2010 when Leon Rice replaced Greg Graham as the head coach at Boise State. And you fast forward what will be 15 years this spring, and guess what? He's still there, still building, still winning, still going to the NCAA tournament.
He's just been the perfect fit at that institution, and the Mountain West has been so difficult. It's one thing to put together a lot of wins, but when you win conference titles and go to the NCAA tournament through the Mountain West, it says a lot about your coaching philosophy and the type of guys that you recruit. They've been sensational. The next step for their program is to win a couple games in the NCAA, but coming out of the Mountain West, those teams get such poor seeds that it's really hard to overcome that.
Deion Brown wheeling and cuts this down to a 1-point game. And then the non-basketball portion. Leon and his wife Robin, 3 boys, Brock, Max, and Cade. Max actually played for him. Going to the floor, McFarland here. And BC with a chance to take its first lead.
Well, how about this play? You know what they talked about during the timeout, right? They stopped settling. Let's attack. No more floaters, no more fadeaways. They're extending their defense. Let's take advantage of it. Great job by Deion Brown. Scores at all 3 levels. Brings his lunch pail and his hard hat. That was a tough play.
Said he was the loudest voice in the gym, even when he couldn't practice for BC. Turnover here, Keene setting up Cardenas, missed the left. And another chance for the Eagles to get their first lead. Hand Jr., still no dice. Cardenas, Degenhardt secondary break. And maybe this what they need, slow it down a little bit, like Earl Grant was trying to get him to do before. Beadle leaned in, couldn't get it to go. Off the front of the rim and out of bounds. Last touch by Javen Buchanan. Julian Bowie back in. Omar Stanley sits down. Yeah, I have a feeling Omar Stanley will be excited to get back to the States. This has not been his favorite tournament. Beadle off the bounce. Good backdoor. Hand Jr. BC leads for the first time tonight.
Yeah, what an outstanding cut. And they've had 2 or 3 of those in transition lately. They just haven't been able to finish, but I really like their mindset, attacking the paint, going up strong, and they finally got one of those to go.
And they called a charge there. Beadle coming up, and Cardenas turns it over. BC by 1. Hastings fouled, 15th foul coming. Two teams with only 1 loss on the season. Boise State, just its 2nd game of the year, went on the road to San Francisco. According to their coaching staff, might have been just what they needed, because they were feeling a little bit too good after their opening game, which was a 44-point win over Oakland. And BC is down in Annapolis. Lost its 2nd game of the year as well to VCU. It's Buchanan, point-blank range, couldn't get it to go.
Yeah, another point-blank miss. Both teams not playing very well. Mike Burns, pretty good defensive game plan right now for Boise State. Taking away that 3-point shot, forcing the Eagles to drive the ball inside, but a lot of missed layups at both ends. Things getting a little sloppy as well.
It's funny, BC can do it, but you could see that the comfort isn't there as much as it normally would be if the perimeter was working.
They are such a good three-point shooting team, and, you know, hung 82 points their first game down here, 76 the next game, and right now 24 points. Give credit to Boise State's defense, but also give credit to the Boston College kids. Not playing well and in the lead of this game.
And I mean, how good are they from the outside? Almost 40% as a team inside the top 30 in Division I. Buchanan, he's good from the outside, just not that time. 11-second shot clock, game clock differential. Inside of a minute to play. Beadle, extension off the window, score it and one.
Give Coach Grant a ton of credit and his staff for a few minutes ago when he called that timeout, and you know he told his guys, look, they're taking away the three-point shot. Let's beat them off the bounce. And there's a perfect example. That's just winning the one-on-one battle. And they've won a couple before that, but have just blown layups. But this is what they have to do. Attack the rim. That's great coaching. Not to mention last night when he drew up two spectacular plays late to get his best shooters open for three-point shots. This is not his first rodeo. I think there's something special brewing for the Boston College Eagles this year, and they need to win a championship in an event like this.
You see that hang time from Beadle? At one point, it felt like he was in the Matrix.
What are they looking at here?
Well, Buchanan might have gotten caught. So watch the right hand for Beadle. Comes down across the side of the face. And excuse me, not Buchanan, Bowie. Earl Grant's guys in the lead in spite of 9 first-half turnovers. And no three-point field goals. But they do still have their balance. 9 guys have been in the rotation tonight. 7 of them have scored. And Beadle, who has not been a huge factor so much in the first 2 games of this tournament, only 5 total minutes last night, did not score. But doing it some tonight. Tie up on the rebound, arrow over to the Broncos. Not the highest scoring title game, but entertaining just the same. I can remember this time a year ago, Jess, you and I would have been praying for this kind of finish. Utah State ended up coming out and blowing the doors off of Stephen F. Austin.
Yeah, that was one of the most surprising games I'd seen in a couple years, because Stephen F. Austin usually doesn't get punked like that, but it was all Utah State and Great Osobor. 17 seconds to go right here. We're in a dogfight. Good teams take away your strengths, and both these teams have had to adjust.
Meadow open, somebody's more open. Bowie ties the game. Beadle hangs that up and a little bit short. And we end the first half on our second tie of the night. Boise State by as many as 5, BC as many as 3. They're even going into the locker room. So
well, Josh Beadle fell down on this play. You're exactly right. His teammate had to come help him. Left an open 3. It's only fitting that these 2 teams are tied. First one to 50 might win this game. Both teams doing a really good job defensively. Let's give both teams credit. They're physical. They're long, they're tough. Stick around, somebody's going to cut down some nets.
Stats, highlights, plenty more coming from the Cayman Islands Classic title game here on Flo College.
Fast food, but not fast food. Get a power-packed meal with real fruits, organic veggies, and enhancers at
Force doubles, kick out so they can get on the board with three-point shooting. Both teams close to 10 turnovers. That's not typical for either squad.
More second chance points for BC, one more free throw, 6 more points in the paint. Otherwise, maybe Boise State's up a bucket or two with 3 more threes. But that's what the Broncos do. They take away your perimeter. And their defensive numbers, talking to associate head coach Mike Burns, they're not even where they want them to be yet. And after yesterday giving up 82 to South Dakota State, they're closer to 100 than not in terms of defensive efficiency in the country. Here's Earl Grant. Good tournament for his team. Trying to vault themselves into the rest of their non-conference schedule with a springboard title game win. Set up Brown on the baseline. Venning gonna go right at Anderson, right over top of him on the block. BC has the lead again.
Anderson can hang with his power inside. He might have gotten away with the travel, but they've got to continue to feed it inside and then eventually force double teams, which will lead to open three-point shots.
First lead for the Eagles since the end of the first half when Boise State knocked down that 3. High-low Anderson. Stanley basically got pushed out of bounds. Yeah, that's what that should be. That's a foul on Kelly. Stanley still scoreless so far in 16 minutes. Meadow on the designed inbounds. Good close by Brown. Wouldn't even let him get a shot off. Cardenas, little give and go. Tied at 28. Fourth time we've been knotted up tonight.
Back cut. Good pass by Anderson. That's what he does. He's more of a perimeter big, and get back door, he'll find you.
There
Strong.
It is. Yeah, had a look. First one from the perimeter tonight for BC. Had been 0 for 5. Not surprised that it's Strong, the guy that brought him here after last night. An offensive foul on Stanley. Strong.
Looked like Strong hit that from the same spot as last night, but he's got a little grin on his face. Got away with the flop there, but when you get him, he's going to remember those shots for a long time if they go on to win this championship. What a clutch performer. Goes down. There's the contact, and I guess anytime you shove that arm out, they're going to get you, but there's no way the guy with the last name Strong can be pushed over that easily.
I was going to say initially it looked like he pulled the chair, but didn't see the arm extension from Stanley. Largest lead of the evening for BC. They've had it at 3 twice. Boise State led by as many as 5. That's where BC is now. Nice drive for Hand Jr. 6 for the son of the former Virginia guard, Donald Hand. Dagenhart couldn't get the reverse layup, got it again, fouled.
Well, here's Dagenhart. He's so crafty around the rim. Very fortunate to get this one back. Goes up pretty strong with it. It's going to go to the free throw line, and the 3-level scorers had a fantastic career. Would love to add a Cayman Islands Classic Championship to his resume.
Boise State wins. Is he the tournament MVP or is it Buchanan?
That's a tough call, right? Because Dagenhart was so spectacular on opening night. Buchanan last night was the star.
And leading them again tonight in scoring. 3-point game, couple minutes into the second half.
There you go.
That's just not too easy is the word, but just tough to stop is Venning. Second personal on Dylan Anderson.
Well, that's about the first time he's actually been able to catch it that far into the paint, so he can just go straight up with it.
Brown penetrate pitch, strong opposite wing, almost banked that in unintentionally. Stanley down with the rebound. Buchanan, little bully ball right into Venning. 9 for Javen Buchanan. Boise State to within 1. Strong, across the lane, self-inflicted wounds. 3-on-3 for the Broncos. Meadow, bodies tumbling everywhere. 10th Bronco turnover. And Brown, whiffed on the dunk. Couldn't quite get high enough.
Wow, what a sequence. You know, the bad news bears for both teams. Turnover at one end, turnover at the other end. Missed dunk, poor passes. Well, not the way these two teams have been playing, and you really can't credit the defense too much in the last minute. It's just been guys rushing, going one-on-one and turning it over. Wow.
There's Buchanan. Pushes Boise State back to its first lead since it was 23-22. Kelly, nice drop off, strong, score it, and the foul.
Well, good things happen when Boston College has been able to get downhill, and just another unselfish play. Strong has stepped up his game at both ends. 3 guys collapse on you, gets undercut, takes a pretty hard fall, but great job by Kelly to get in there. Buchanan gets a shoulder into his hip, and he's going to go to the line and knock this one in.
And does just that. Earl Grant loves to see that. Strong, only a 56% free throw shooter coming in. BC back up 2. Buchanan this time the left. Not much different on the result. 13 for Javen Buchanan. An NAIA All-American a year ago. It's actually an article in the Idaho Statesman over the summer when they got Buchanan as Venning scores here. Talking about NAIA guys going to Division I and how it's become more prevalent in the last couple years in terms of All-Americans.
All these coaches looking for older guys, and some of these NAIA players and junior college players are late bloomers, and you can get them right in their prime of their careers, and this kid is showing that he definitely belongs.
Yeah, there was actually a kid in the Mountain West in Mason Walters, who was the 22-23 NAIA Player of the Year, and then ended up transferring to Wyoming, averaged 12 a game. And Meadow got the steal, foul on Kelly, but BC still up in front. In spite of Buchanan.
What a pass, what a finish. Takes the hit, makes the free throw, and this guy has to touch the ball down the stretch. He is just too strong and too skilled to avoid.
Known for its crystal clear waters, cool blue skies, and playful residents. Enjoy a variety of water sports including paddleboards, jet skis, and sailing. Swim with the stingrays, relax on a luxury catamaran, whatever your fancy. Dive, sail, play with Red Sail Sports.
Fast food, but not fast food. Get a power-packed meal with real fruits, organic veggies, and enhancers at Smoothie King. Blending near you, only at Smoothie King.
Pretty good atmosphere at John Gray Gymnasium with BC up 38-36 on top of Boise State here at the Cayman Islands Classic title game. Alongside the former Iowa standout Jess Settles, Matt Martucci, packed gym. Folks enjoying themselves. The best crowd of the week, which is what you'd expect, you would hope, for a competitive title game.
How about Grand Cayman being 2,618 miles away from Boise? So a long trip for their fans and their families, but they're enjoying every minute of it. Their guys have an opportunity to win this championship. It's nice to see the big crowd, everybody from the island coming out to support this event. It's been another great event. And we've mentioned it many times this week. Kansas State a couple years ago, Utah State out of the Mountain West last year. There was just something about this three-day event that sparked those teams to elite seasons.
Played over 5 minutes. Seesawing back and forth between BC and Boise State. Buchanan stepping through, foul on Vinnick. Second personal. And so to further that NAIA story, Mason Walters was from Jamestown, North Dakota, where he played. Ended up in the Mountain West, over 12 points a game in 22 games. Actually had 15 points against Boise State in Wyoming's lone matchup, which was this past college basketball season. And then there was another one, a kid from Southeastern at Florida who went to Morehead State, Riley Minks, ended up becoming the Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year. Averaged almost 21 and 10 and got to the NCAA tournament. So the answer is yes, there's talent everywhere.
Well, with the transfer portal now and free agency the way it is, those type of kids who are good players at that level are just leaving at the first opportunity. It used to be you had to sit out a year, obviously, and nobody really wanted to do that. But since you don't have to, coaches are looking at every level. Remember Duncan Robinson, who played for John Beeline in the Final Four. I believe he was a Division III player and then ended up with the Miami Heat and is still had a fantastic NBA career as a shooter.
Williams College, if I recall.
Huh.
For Duncan Robinson. And I can't remember, Jess, was Wisconsin Stevens Point NAIA? You know who went there? Think back to our era of NBA. Bulls versus Blazers.
Terry Porter?
Yes, sir. That's correct. See, I needed to give you like another second and a half, and he was right there.
I was searching. Well, we got a 38-all tie here. What a great pass to the wing. There's a three-pointer. That's how it's supposed to be played. What a shot.
That's Bowie, second made three. Yep. Has a knack for those. Hit the one to tie the game at the end of the first half. This one puts Boise State in front again. Beadle dropped that in, got the friendly roll.
Such a great slasher, taking the ball to the rim. Great job by Benning, not forcing the shot, kicking it out to number 7, and he knew what to do with it. But Gordinas, what a one-handed whip pass over to Bowie. Three-pointer's been hard to come by for both teams, but wow, a double clutch floater. Very athletic move at the rim.
Degenhart on the block in between two Eagles. Free throw line trip. It's been a quiet night for the preseason Mountain West Player of the Year. Only 5 points, but guess what? There's a lot of second half left. And if you know anything about Tyson Degenhart, he'll let the game dictate it and then figure out what he needs to provide. Broncos led tonight by 15 from Javen Buchanan. He's been their leading scorer back-to-back games. Said it once or twice this tournament, Jess, but there's that old saying, it's amazing what you can accomplish when nobody cares who gets the credit. Boise State looks like they've got one of those teams. Vanning and hooked him again.
Yeah, he's done that 2 or 3 times. Got away with it on the last move, and the official could see it from where he was standing. Watch his left arm there. Just gets that wing out there, gets it up around the shoulder and neck area, and they're just trained to call that.
Third personal foul on Chad Vanning, who's going to get a seat on the bench. Cardenas lost it. Beadle picks it up. Changing gears, foul on Omar Stanley.
Well, Josh Beadle is so experienced and he's so quick. If you're going to be weak with that dribble and bring it into the paint, take it away from you, and then he's got the ability to snatch it and obviously fly down to the other end and make good things happen.
Stanley sits, still scoreless tonight. He and Degenhart and Cardenas combined 13 points. 5-second violation. BC having trouble getting the ball inbounds. 15th Eagles turnover. Bowie down the lane. They'll reset with Cardenas and Buchanan. Good hands for Beadle. Buchanan leans in, score it, +1.
He's been spectacular the last couple of games, and this is one of the reasons they are picked first in the Mountain West. He got the mismatch that he wanted. He wasn't passing this one out. We talked about Beadle's quick hands, but against such a bigger player, just got muscled down on the block, takes the hit, kisses it off the glass. He's turning into a star right before our very eyes.
Now 49 points for Javen Buchanan in what's 3 games. If the result holds, I think we might have your tournament MVP.
I agree.
Largest Boise State lead, by the way. Largest had been 5. Strong back in. BC going to have to find points with Chad Venning on the bench with the 3 personals. Kelly open for 3. Thought he might get the friendly bounce. Instead, it's Keene. Tough catch for Cardenas right in front of his own bench. Buchanan sensing the shoulder, spun back the other way.
Buchanan just waving everyone off. Wanted that clear out, had no intention of passing that. I don't know how anybody at the NAIA level could stay in front of this guy In the last couple of games at the Cayman Islands Classic, no one at this level has been able to come anywhere close. Just going one-on-one, spin moves, using both hands, shooting three-point shots. Absolutely been the best player on the court in this championship game.
Boise State by 8 here at the Cayman Islands Classic title game. I'll scour all the NAIA schools. Find more kids like Javen Buchanan.
He's just been sensational. You're exactly right. The assistant coach would say, look, we're going to have to start going to NAIA events now on top of all the other tournaments we go to, because we got to find somebody like 22. Such confidence, toughness. The bench loves it. You start thinking about Omar Stanley and Dagenhart, Cardenas and Meadow. You add this guy to the mix. How many weapons do the Broncos have this year? It's incredible.
Yeah, have fun scouting that.
Wow.
Largest lead of the game for Boise State. Strong, way long. Cardenas down with the board. Just said to you, Jess, I'm just going by feel here. Feels like this game teetering and Boise State could potentially go on a big run here.
Especially, no use for Boston College to panic. Only down 8. You use this timeout to regroup. Play inside out, chip away at it.
but not fast food. Get a power-packed meal with real fruits, organic veggies, and enhancers at Smoothie King. Blending near you. Only at Smoothie King.
Flashback to a year ago, Utah State and a blowout victory over Stephen F. Austin, raising the hardware at the Cayman Islands Classic. You see great Osibor raising the arm up and down, holding his most outstanding player plaque. He's now doing damage at Washington. K-State the year before, you got to see that one just settles. And then a couple of years wiped out because of COVID. But George Mason, Creighton, and the inaugural Cayman Islands Classic champ, Cincinnati.
Utah State, nobody had even heard of most of the guys on their team, and they made a name for themselves 1 year ago tonight, the Cayman Islands Classic. It did go on to win the Mountain West, and Leon Rice and company know all about their success, but they found a star here at number 22, and he's been the difference in this game. Boston College, you don't have to launch your way back into this one. It's only an 8-point game. You got to get post touches, get to the free throw line. Remember, they're a fantastic three-point shooting team, and that's what brought them back last night.
That Cincinnati team at 17-18 that won the inaugural, 31-5, by the way, and ended up, oddly enough, losing to a Mountain West team in the NCAA tournament. Bringing it full circle from the first Cayman Islands Classic to present day. Strong to the basket, off the window, score it, +1.
That's just a man-sized move right there. Just put your shoulder down, create some contact. I really like the mentality on the last couple of plays. They still have the energy. They have the fight. This is the group that wants to get the Eagles back to the NCAA tournament. They know how critical the last 10 minutes are of this game. They need to convince themselves that they're champions, that they're able of closing out a game like this, battling back. They have a very difficult schedule ahead of them, to say the least, but when you're a great player like these guys have, you look at it as opportunities.
Strong's three-point play. We're back to a two-possession game. Lots of places to go for an answer for the Broncos. Bowie, maybe not the first option. Beadle with the secondary break. Haven't heard much from McFarland. Hastings sets the screen. Dagenhart on the switch. McFarland, that's a tough shot.
Yeah, what a great defensive sequence for Dagenhart. Struggling a little offensively, but he switched onto the ball 3 or 4 times on that possession. Stayed in front, forced, you're exactly right, Matt, a very difficult shot, a low percentage shot. Number 2 playing well at both ends, and hey, reward him with a layup.
Look at Buchanan finding Dagenhart. Set up on the block and threw it where only he could catch it. First assist for Javen Buchanan to go along with his 20 points on the night. Hastings to the basket, nearly got it to stick. Foul line trip. Neither team's been there a ton for a game that at this point is 31 minutes old, just about.
We talk about the interchangeable parts, right? Buchanan, Dagenhart, Omar Stanley. Just a lot of guys who can play on the perimeter, set good screens, post up. It wouldn't surprise me after the game if we hear that Omar Stanley's not 100%. He just hasn't had the energy in this tournament that I've seen him play with. I've covered him many times, and he's a very explosive athlete, but obviously Buchanan has stepped up and filled the void And Degenhardt always comes to play. But good job by the Eagles, right? Not playing well, turning the ball over, and yet hanging around with 5 to go. Reminds you a little bit of last night.
Both free throws for Hastings to make this a 5-point game. Coming up on 9 minutes left. Glad you're along for the ride with Jess Settles, Matt Martucci. Buchanan right up into Venning. 22 now for Javen Buchanan. He is 50 in the last 2 games. Boise State back up 7. BC shot clock cut in half. Broncos making them work. They turn it over. Strong threw it right to Buchanan. And a blocking foul.
The ability of Boise State to extend their defense and to switch and their bigs to get on the guards has really frustrated the Eagles. Several turnovers. They're not able to get in a rhythm with their three-point shot. So, we want to give credit where credit is due. Mike Burns has put together a spectacular defensive game plan, using their length, using their switching ability. And Buchanan comes into this tournament averaging 10 points a game, and you just said he's got 50 in the last couple of games, and he has done that from all over the floor, posting up, free throw line, deep three-point shots, putting the ball on the floor. He's been the most valuable player for Boise State.
4 in the opening round in what was only 12 minutes. They didn't really need it because they were up double digits a good portion of the game on Hampton. And then 28 yesterday on 11 of 17, knocked down 4 threes. Tonight, 23 on 9 of 14 from the field. Has hit a 3, gone 4 for 5 from the foul line. They make it 24, so 56 total points in the 3 games for Javen Buchanan. Making this most outstanding player decision pretty easy. New largest lead for the Broncos, up 9. And big bucket for McFarland, score it and 1. Foul on Meadow.
Nice job by Roger McFarland. Coach Grant's trying to set up these isolations. Good rub screen, takes it in, obvious foul in the arm, powers through it. They've been hard to come by, but they continue to attack the rim.
McFarland cuts it down to 2 possessions. Only his 5th point of the night. BC's done its job at the foul line, 7 of 8. Eagles haven't had a lead since it was 38-37 at 14 and a half left. Since then, outscored 17-10. Bowie with a miss. It's a couple times where maybe that's not what they've needed, given the positioning in the game. And foul here on the Broncos. Things tightening up a little bit. Boise State by 6. Looking for hardware. Somebody's bringing it home.
Fast food. But not fast food. Get a power-packed meal with real fruits, organic veggies, and enhancers at Smoothie King. Blending near you. Only at Smoothie King.
Sports are better on the big screen. Head to your preferred device app store to download the all-new Flow Sports TV apps for Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, Android TV, and Chromecast. Set your favorites. Search our library of live and on-demand content and so much more. Download today. Well, that looked like a stressed young Boise State fan. Tough to manage in these situations, Jess Settles. What do you recommend?
Well, how could you be stressed if you're a Boise State fan? Your football team's one of the best in the country. You're playing for a Mountain West championship. Your basketball team's down here at the Cayman Islands Classic, playing for a championship in pretty decent shape right now. You live in one of the most beautiful places in the world. You get to come to the beach with your folks. I mean, how can you be stressed?
Yeah, football team right now in the last bye spot for the FBS playoff. And of course, highest AP ranking since all the way back when current Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore was under center at Boise State. So going back a ways. Big free throws for McFarland. Perfect so far in the night. Eagles 8 of 9 as a team. As Earl Grant's team once again tries to come from behind. They have the last 4 points. Make it 5. 4-point game. See, Jess, your partner said he thought it was teetering. Shows what I know.
Well, I just like the toughness of this Boston College team. They showed us a lot last night with the plays they made down the stretch, and they've got a physical team. But right now they got to find an answer for 22.
Steps back, missed it. Payne down with the rebound. McFarland, Venning and Payne. Along with Beadle, who has the basketball. Leans in, got the friendly roll. 10 for Joshua Beadle. Don't look now, 1 possession game. 6:45 to go at John Gray Gym. Buchanan guarded by Strong. Good double. Beadle nearly got the steal. It's out of bounds, but only 5 to shoot.
But Josh Beadle is really good. What a nice floater. Check him out at the defensive end. He's got the handles. There's the hostage dribble. That was a massive bucket. Touch around the rim. But at the other end, he is working as hard as anybody. 4 seconds left on the shot clock here.
Venning comes away with the basketball. Chance to tie or take the lead. In over 8 minutes since the Eagles were in front. 6 ties, 4 lead changes here in the Cayman Islands Classic Championship. McFarland off the bounce, we're tied. 54 apiece. No bigger catalyst during this run than McFarland. A 7-0 run. And actually make it 9-0 with that bucket. Degenhart can't break the tie. Foul on the rebound. It's on Stanley. And a pair of free throws coming for Venning.
I love these isolation plays that Coach Grant and his staff Jim Molinari and company have been drawing up all tournament long, getting the guys who need the ball, putting them in the right position. They haven't been able to get clean looks with the three-point shot, but they've had success driving the ball against Boise State. That was a man-sized rebound. How about this, Matt? Big number 32 goes to the free throw line with an opportunity to take the lead with 5:34 to go.
By the way, that 9-0 run, Roger McFarland with 7 of the points. Venning gives them the lead, though. Back in front. Well for Venning, 56-54 BC. The run now 11-0. Down to a 5.5-minute basketball game. Cardenas played by Beadle. Shot clock cut in half. They want the high-low, can't get it to Buchanan. McFarland, what a save! Right to Payne. Strong. Payne couldn't capitalize. Now Cardenas, what a bounce. Stanley flying through the air and fouled.
And what a turn of events. Boston College comes up with the hustle play at one end. They push the ball, make all the right decisions, and miss the open three to extend this lead. And then Boise State comes right back at him. That is as pretty of a pass as you will see all tournament long. I do not know how he threaded this through there. Great catch by Omar. Nice to see him back in the party, and these are big free throws.
Back of the rim for what's an 83% shooter in Stanley, but that was his first attempt tonight. One of two. Bowie back in, Stanley sits down. By the way, 4 personals for Stanley, which is why they go a little offense-defense. Kelly with 4, Venning with 4 for BC. 3 timeouts left for Boise State. BC down to 2, double bonus both teams. Venning got that caught, got it back. 14 for Venning to lead the Eagles tonight. Cardenas, and he hooked Beadle.
Josh Beadle has just been all over the court. His fingerprints are all over this game, especially in the second half. What a star player he is. There's the screen, the little pocket pass. That's good defense by Degenhart, but that's a big-time move by big number 32. Stick around. What a pass, what a catch, and what a shot. Can you believe it? The Eagles are up 3.
Boston College by 3 on top of Boise State here in the Cayman Islands Classic title game. Roger McFarland right at the forefront of this comeback for BC.
They were in a little bit of trouble, obviously, but Roger rescued them. These are really tough shots. Been so impressed with the coaching staff, Coach Grant, putting him in situations where the lane is opened up so he can drive that. He's not just freelancing those plays. He's getting the call from the huddle in a game where Boise State has extended their three-point defense, and they've been great at it. McFarland and company have not shot themselves out of this game. They've taken what the defense has given them. It's been tough It's been ugly with the turnovers, but they find themselves up 3 with about 4 to go in the championship game, the Cayman Islands Classic.
Creeping under 4 minutes. Beadle, that's where they want to go. Venning, too strong. Buchanan down with the rebound.
How about Mike Burns coming out of the timeout with the 1-3-1 defense? Boston College didn't have a play for that. That's the chess match that's going on down the stretch. Advantage Boise State on that play.
Buchanan, have to be careful, doubles coming. Separates and left it short. Venning down with what's his 6th rebound.
Another great play by Josh Beadle to come down and help up, just enough to disrupt him.
Venning, foul line J. Eagles have their largest lead of the game, matches it from 2 minutes into the second half when they led 33-28. Cardenas fouled on the arm. Pair of free throws.
Well, here's Beadle again. He's going to throw that little pocket pass, and that's one of those, boy, it takes a lot of guts for the big fella to pull up in the last 3 minutes of the game and hit that 15-footer. He's fantastic. He's going to continue to get in better shape, but he's a load, especially when he's knocking in open jumpers. My word.
Yeah, I said you can already see the difference from when he was at St. Bonaventure. Body just looks more trim, looks like he's dropped weight. Checking the clock situation, make sure everything's right. Game clock, shot clock. Doug Shows, Sean Hall, Joe Lindsay, our crew tonight. So they'll add 2 seconds back. 3:04 goes to 3:06. Treated to a good one. 7 ties, 5 lead changes. BC in the lead in spite of only 1 made 3-point field goal. And again, that's credit to Boise State. Came in with a top 30 3-point percentage defense. Cardenas cuts this down. You think your body can handle another overtime, Just settles.
Hey, I'm all in, right? Little free basketball.
Final day, final game, right? Anything
I
goes.
know you're on fumes, but we can get through it.
8 for Cardenas after both free throws. Now matched up with Beadle. He's had a big game off the bench. Eagles very much more under control, taking care of the basketball during this run. Deep in the clock, Beadle has to bail it out. Heel of the rim and Meadow down. Chance to cut this down to 1 or tie it up. Stanley back in the game with the 4 personal fouls. Haven't heard from Degenhart in a while. Little 2 game with Cardenas. Finding Meadow for the tie. No! And Venning fouled. If that's Stanley, that's it.
Roger McFarland, what a defensive possession for him. Switching onto the ball, battling on every possession, kept the ball out of the post and out of Degenhart's hands. And then they forced the tough shot, and Leon Rice does not like the call. But I think it was a good, just look at McFarland. Let's look at him move his feet, show his hands, kick the ball out, now switch. Cut off the baseline. You don't get any better than that. That's a tough shot for Meadow. They go up. That's clean. He obviously gets pushed over. That's the right call. Roger McFarland at both ends of the court. What a junkyard dog that guy's been in the second half.
I give Omar Stanley credit. He did try and plead his case to Joe Lindsay and say, hey, my hands were straight up. Well, yeah, they were, but Venning's body went down because of the contact.
And here's that foul out rule that we can't stand, where you give a guy 5 minutes to get out of the game before you sub in for him.
Venning off the mark. Plenty of time, plenty of chances for Boise State. But no Omar Stanley for the second straight game. Venning missed both. Bowie, big rebound. Degenhart from Cardenas, fouled on the floor first.
Yeah, both teams in the double bonus. Degenhart, such a smart player. Went right to the basket, forced the whistle. The game's getting a little bit chippy. That's what veteran players do. Both teams with 2 timeouts. If you get into any type of trouble at all, you burn one of those timeouts. Right now, the All-American goes to the line. These are critical. You get 2 misses at the other end, you get an opportunity for a 4-point swing at the line right now.
A matchup of 5-1s. Boise State beat Hampton and South Dakota State to get here. BC blew out Old Dominion the first night, outlasted Missouri State last night in overtime. And remember, if this does happen to go into an extra period, Degenhart with a miss here. BC already has 4 total overtimes under its belt, the triple OT win over Tulsa earlier this year. Actually, excuse me, I have that confused with Missouri State. But they did have OT last night against the Bears. Venning back of the iron.
That's just a lousy shot by Chad Venning. Fades away from the contact, fadeaway shot, very low percentage. 2 missed free throws and a fadeaway. That just doesn't cut it with a minute to go.
Degenhart trying to get them the lead. Off the window, no. Another chance. And we're going down the other way. As RJ Keene took a shot. A little bit of a push from Degenhart.
Yeah, is that who they called it on?
Though. That's who they called it on. And wow. I didn't see much there.
I didn't either. 1:05 to go. Both teams battling. You got to swallow your whistle on that one and let them play.
I want to review this to see if there's anything extracurricular outside of just a basketball play. Minimal contact. Jess, that may be the quickest review we've had in 3 days.
Yeah, here he drives in. I thought Degenhart got fouled right there on the drive, not on the shot.
It's the hands on the jersey.
Okay, I didn't see that angle of it.
I think that's what it was initially. The hands on the 3-2 on the numbers. Again, it's still not outrageous, given the point in the game. But Venning, only a 50% free throw shooter tonight. Has gone 2 for 4. And on the year, not much better, 57% coming in.
And Chad's got to knock these down. Another tough one. If you're Boise State right here, you obviously have to block out.
Venning missed both. And lane violation anyway.
He knew it was off.
Defense.
And no one could see it any better than he did, so he released early. Now, I'm using the timeout right here if I'm Leon Rice. I'm going to call a timeout here. Run my best play. You got two of them. This is the biggest play of the game so far for them.
Cardenas with 15 on the shot clock. Steps through and gets fouled.
Well, he might have gotten away with the travel there, Matt. Good job getting into the teeth of the defense and picking up the foul. And he's been so sensational this entire tournament. They choose not to go with the timeout. Here he comes around the corner right into your living room. Ooh. Shuffled his feet a little bit. No whistle. Gets an opportunity to go to the line after he gets wiped out.
Brings them to within one. Three for 4 on the night. Broncos 15 of 19. In and out. 1 point game, but Boise State can play out this possession.
I tell you, same situation here. I would call a timeout and run my best play.
Doesn't look like Earl Grant's going to either. Maybe he should have. Strong lost the basketball. Mano rescued by Buchanan. 15 seconds left. Cardenas got fouled.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Did they call a trip? Doug Shows said he was tripped. Beadle stuck the leg out.
Trip. Both coaches deciding to let their guys play it out. Here's Cardenas again. Passes it back. Here's the dribble handoff.
Oh, well.
Leg kick out. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. He's trained to get his leg over the top of that screen, and he might have kicked it out just a little too far. Critical free throws. Good things happen when you use the dribble drive to attack the defender. And we said it all week long. Leon Rice's teams typically win these close games, especially on the road.
Experienced team with a lot of guys that have played in March. Cardenas, one of the new additions. 1 point Boise State lead. Our 6th lead change of the night to go with 8 ties. Eagles gone to talk it over, 12.2 to play. Boise State down to 1 timeout, BC has 2. No more Omar Stanley for Boise State for the 2nd straight game. Kelly, Venning, and Beadle all with 4 personals for BC. And of course, double bonus the rest of the way, if that means an extra period. And where is Donald Hand Jr. been tonight? Makes you wonder, is this where you go? Last night, Jess, around the same amount of time on the clock, maybe a little more. Knocks down the wing 3 to tie the basketball game. Now tonight trying to take the lead.
Not sure what that situation is. Obviously, Elijah Strong, Donald Hand Jr. were the stars hitting deep shots, but look, a lot of options down 1. Obviously, you don't want to settle for a bad 3-point shot. Getting downhill has been what's worked the best for them. Roger McFarland has had his way Josh Beadle, you trust him as well, but they're going to try to isolate and attack the rim. You got to make sure you're blocking out if you're Boise State, because Boston College comes flying in.
Now, this was hand yesterday, but not likely to be on the floor, it looks like. That tied last night's game at 64 apiece before they eventually came back from what was a 6-point deficit in overtime and won. Payne and Brown, they have to hurry. They don't have a ton of time. They get it over midcourt and spend one of those last 2 timeouts with 5.6 to go. You just wasted half your available time. Some of that is Boise State.
Yeah, great job by Mike Burns to come out of the timeout with the 3-quarter court press. Make it a little difficult for Boston College to get the ball down the floor. Obviously work 5 or 6 seconds off the clock, but also smart by the Eagles to call the timeout. 5.6 seconds, plenty of time to not only inbound the ball, but to make a couple passes. Boise State's done such a good job in this game at the defensive end, taking away the 3-point shot. Obviously, Boston College doesn't need that unless it's a drive and kick after everybody from Boise State collapse. And we talked about it many times. This tournament can set up a team on a great trajectory for the season like Kansas State and Utah State the last couple of years. And somebody's going back to the Westin on cloud 9, and somebody's going to think about what could have been. We got 5.6 to go to crown a champion, the Cayman Islands Classic.
A reminder that BC's on a scoreless streak of what's a little over 3 minutes scoring drought. Boise State a 6-0 run during that span. This was a 60-55 game with 3:06 left in the second half. But that doesn't matter if the Eagles can deliver here.
Both teams with a timeout, no need to panic. You want to guard without fouling if you're Boise State.
See what Earl Grant's drawn up. Payne will be the one to inbound. Beadle in the corner for the win, got it! Still time on the clock. BC by 2 with 2.2 to play. Dagenhart, Cardenas, he'll launch off the mark. And Boston College has won the 2024 Cayman Islands Classic on the 3 from Joshua Beadle.
On a night when the 3-point shot was taken away, leave it to Josh Beadle, down 1, a wicked James Harden step back. Are you kidding me? The rotation, the confidence, he just drills it back-to-back nights with big-time threes, and that one just ricochets off. Boston College, the guts, the tenacity, everybody making a play. Number 7, what a superstar at both ends of the court. My, oh my, what a finish. This game never, ever disappoints.
Well, the disappointment you see from Javen Buchanan at Boise State on one side, and the angst and the euphoria, though, for BC. Only the second 3 of the evening. Elijah Strong hit one earlier in the second half. Beadle, who had only taken 5 all year, had knocked down 2. But as big a shot as he'll have hit, Look at the elation from Earl Grant. He knows what this means for his team. Long time coming as they start 6-1.
How impressive was his play calling down the stretch of these games, getting the ball into the right hands of his star players. Everything was frustrating in this game. Only came up with 63 points, but no one expected Beadle to catch that in the corner and step back. Someone will win the mirror ball on Dancing with the Stars tonight in Los Angeles, but it's Boston College who's dancing in the Cayman Islands with the Cayman Islands Classic Trophy. What a 3-0 run by the Eagles. Look at them soar. They deserve it. They deserve this celebration.
82-52 over Old Dominion in the opening round. Outlasted Missouri State in the semifinals, 76-74 in overtime last night. Got done around the same time. Boise State had basically all of yesterday to rest. Didn't end up mattering.
Well, this shot's going to be on every highlight reel around the country tonight. That's just one of the nastiest shots I've ever seen. Beautiful. This guy was brilliant. The step back, the ankle breaker, call it what you want. The sweet follow through and finish. I see you, Beadle. You're the star. Great job by Venning in this game. They stayed together. They were on the ropes, taking shots, left hooks, right hooks. We said yesterday, Matt, we thought this was so critical and important for Boston College to win this tournament, to prove that they could do it. Now they've got to take care of business in conference play and get back where they belong, to the NCAA tournament.
Now Beadle ends up hitting that shot. Maybe some vindication for him, for somebody that only played about 11 minutes a game prior to coming over to BC, was at Clemson. So stays within the ACC, but went to a place where he'd have a better opportunity and delivered for the Eagles tonight. Donald Hand Jr., we're told, is your Cayman Islands Classic MVP. But Beadle with as big as a game as he's had in his career. What did we talk about for two teams that play, for the most part, agendaless basketball? BC's in that category too.
Yeah, no question about it. Congratulations to Boise State. The Broncos were right on the brink of winning a championship. They're the favorite to win the Mountain West. So you talk about the metrics. How important was this win for the Eagles to build a resume? Just a fantastic win, and I can't say enough about their coaching staff. Not panicking down the stretch of these games, sticking with the game plan. The X's and O's matter.
This tournament had just about everything. Had some overtime. We had a missed free throw that decided a game. We had a title game that came down to the wire. Big dunks, huge blocks. All kinds of stuff at the Cayman Islands Classic. 12 games in 3 days. Hard to believe it is in fact over. For my broadcast partner, Jess Settles, our producers, Lucas Haskins and Cruz Sanchez, and our entire fantastic crew, Matt Martucci saying so long, joy on one side, and the agony of defeat on the other. BC on the strength of the Beadle 3. One more look at it. 63-61 over Boise State. Jess Settles, thank you, my friend. Everybody have a great night. This has been the Cayman Islands Classic on Flo College.
And now we would like to call upon the Honorable Isaac Rankin, Minister of Sports, and NBA legend Sam Perkins to present the most outstanding player of the tournament. All tournament first, all tournament team first, please and thank you, all tournament team. Yes, ma'am. Sam Perkins, can you step forward, please? And I'd also like to announce the MVP of the 2024 Cayman Islands Classic. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Donald Hand Jr. And finally, we would like to introduce the champions of the 2024 Cayman Islands Classic. To present this award, we call upon the Honorable Deputy Premier, Mr. Kenneth Bryant, and KMAX Sports, Mr. Joe Wright, and Victor Ogaro, and Al. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the Boston College